Dear people of God, once again I welcome you this morning for this meditation on the subject called Walking with God. For the past 2 weeks we are studying on walking with God. The walk with God is very important in our lives because we have been chosen and called by God that we may be in closer walk or relationship with Him, for which we have taken up the biblical foundation scripture from the Matthew chapter 28 verse 20. There Jesus said, "Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the world." It's God's desire and the zeal and the passion that He wants to be with us and walk with us, talk with us, share with us. And if we walk with Him correspondingly, then we will be called the friends of God. And again we saw in another scripture, that is Micah chapter 6 verse 8, there prophet Micah tells us that He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. This is one of the requirements, that we must walk with God in all humility. So for the past few days we have been studying from the scriptures. That we started with the life of Enoch, who walked with God. When Enoch was 65 years old, he gave birth to a son called Methuselah, and then 300 years he walked with God, and then he was not. Again we saw few scriptures about how to walk with God. What are the requirements to walk with God? What are the attributes or what are the character that we need to build up with ourselves to walk with God? And then we saw the way Moses was in friendship with God and walking with God. And God says there he spoke to him face to face, openly. And Moses was a man who was beholding the face of the Lord all the time. And also we saw from the life of Abraham, God calls him my friend. And when he comes to with a project, he says, "How can I hide from my friend Abraham?" That was the kind of walk they had. So in conclusion of this study today, I would like to bring some points to your notice. If we want to walk with God, let us remember God is love, and we must walk in love. And Apostle John says, if we don't walk in love, we don't have God. And Jesus moved with love. One of the primary things to walk with God, the attribute that we need to have in our lives, because God is love, we must walk in love with Him. And He is a God of compassion and mercy. We must walk with Him in compassion and mercy. This is what is very important. If we have to walk with God, we need to have the same characteristics of God. Then only we can walk with Him and be with Him, and we can become a closer friends with Him. So dear people of God, today I am encouraging you. From the time that we have been born again and we started our spiritual journey, we are praying, we are reading the Word, and we have been faithful in many areas with the Lord, His Word. But remember, the most important thing for us to keep in mind is that personal relationship with God, personal walk with God matters a lot in this faith journey. So dear people of God, this is the time that we need to learn. No matter what kind of life we have led thus far, at least let us come to a determination in our lives, or decide, or make a decision to walk with Him from here. from this point of time. Let us build up our relationship in such a way that God should commend the way He commented to Abraham. Shall I hide from my friend Abraham? Can we build that kind of a relationship with Him, saying that God might think I cannot hide from this son or this daughter? Yes, my friends, when we look into these characters like Enoch, Abraham, then Moses, then David, Jesus, so many of them who walked with God were so close, God did not hide anything from them, but He shared His heart, He shared His plan, and He got the job done through these men in the face of the earth, the plans that He had in it. So I encourage you, my friends, today to make a decision and determination to walk with Him in a closer, intimate relationship with Him and enjoy that freedom where God does not hide anything. God bless you. We'll meet again with a new thought and new subject. Until then, God bless you.